Good morning, friends. Today's topic is inline function. Inline functions are the functions which are expanded in line during its invocation. The declaration and definition of such functions can be done simultaneously. Whenever these functions called the compiler replaces the call with its respective function code. Generally, inline the functions are used for function code. Whenever these functions are called, the compiler replaced the call with its respective function code. So generally, inline functions are used for executing small functions as it reduces the overhead incurred, incurred during the normal function call. Inlining meaning that is incoming. Inlining means implicitly embedding the copy of the function body during its invocation. The line functions are declared using inline keywords which tells the compiler to replace the function call with the function code. Here the syntax is inline space func underscore name, and in next line brace opening brace, and in next line statement 1 comma, in another line statement 2, that is comma, in another line dot 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 up to, that is in another line closing brace. For example, in line space float space power of float space x, the opening brace. Again in next line return x into x, bracket is closed, and a closing brace. However, there are certain situations where inline functions are not applicable. They are as follows. Inline function cannot be applied to recursive function, and it cannot use main function, that is main null bracket, as inline. The functions contains static variables cannot be used. The function contain containing statements like for loop, comma, if, comma, switch, comma, break, and so on are also not applicable. The advantages. The advantages of line function are as follows. It can increase the speed of the program because the function is not called each time it is invoked. Instead, a copy of it replaces the function call. It is easier to read because the function contains only one of two statements. Here, the disadvantages. The disadvantages of inline function are as follows. It increases the size of the executable program. It is difficult to read when the function code is larger. Recursive functions. Recursion is the process or technique by which a function calls itself. The function is called a recursive function. This function is called a recursive function. It contains a statement within its body which calls the same function. Thus, it is also called a circular definition. A recursion can be classified as direct recursion and indirect recursion. Thus, it is also called as a circular definition. A recursion can be classified as as direct recursion and indirect recursion. In direct recursion, the function calls itself, and in the indirect recursion, a function f1 calls another function f2, and the called function f2 calls the calling function f1.